In this video, I wanted to give you a bit of background as to how Facebook ads work before we dive in and start creating the actual ads. Understanding how Facebook ads work will make the whole ad creation process so much more easier to understand. So here's the biggest thing which you should be aware of, as a majority of people don't actually know this. The Facebook ads platform is actually an auction. So whenever you are creating a new campaign on Facebook, you're literally joining a huge worldwide auction. You'll be competing with hundreds and thousands of advertisers to buy what Facebook is selling, which is real estate on the news feed, the messenger, the audience network, the mobile apps, to display ads to the users. Now, while Facebook will try to satisfy every advertiser out there, the space for advertisement is pretty limited despite as many users as Facebook has. Now, hopefully you enjoy the image I have on my screen just showing you how packed it can be, but essentially sometimes Facebook won't be able to fulfill all of the requests it has for advertisements. So when this happens, the highest bidder will get the most placements. The amount you pay for a click or 1,000 impressions or a conversion is not what you're actually going to pay. It's just the maximum amount which you're willing to pay to win the bid. Now, it's good to note that Facebook will always make you pay only the lowest amount possible to win the bid to have your ad displayed. That means if your competition has a bid of 20p and you have a bid of £10, then you'll only have to pay 21p because it's only 1 penny higher than your competition. Let's imagine Facebook has 3 available spots to display ads and there are 4 different advertisers all bidding for the same spots. Then this is how it would work out. Let's imagine you got advertiser 1 who has a bid of 30p, you got advertiser 2 who has a bid of 50p, we've got advertiser 3 who also has a bid of 50p, then we have advertiser 4 who has a lot of money in his pocket and he has a bid of £10. Now, one thing I want to note as well, that the real system is obviously way more complicated than this. This is just a hyper simplification version just to give you an idea of exactly how it would work. So in this scenario of where there's only 3 spots available, advertiser 1 would be most likely left out and would receive low to 0 impressions. Advertisers 2 and 3 will both get a good amount of impressions at a price of somewhere between 31 pence and 50p, and advertiser 4 will get the most amount of impressions at a price just above those of 2 and 3, so around 35p to 60p. No way is he or she going to be paying £10. So there are 2 important takeaways here. The first is, if you try to bid too low, then your campaign may not get the exposure it deserves and you won't reach any of your goals. Remember, you always get what you pay for. This is especially true when it comes to Facebook ads. The second takeaway is, don't worry about bidding a high amount. You'll still end up paying the lowest amount possible in the auction to get your ad delivered. So that's really important to note. Some people might think if I put my maximum bid as £10, then I'm going to pay £10 every time someone clicks my ad. It doesn't really work like that. You're only going to pay 1 penny more than the highest bidder below you. Now, of course, Facebook is a massive company, so it's a little bit more complicated than just having a high bid. There are a lot of other contributing factors as well, and these are the 3 biggest factors that can affect if you win the bid or not. Number 1 is your bid, as we just ran through. So when you go ahead and start to create your first Facebook ad campaign, as we are going to do very shortly, under the second level of your ad campaign, which is what we call your ad set level, you have an option under optimization and delivery, and this option is referred to as cost control. Now, as the Facebook ads platform is basically an auction, it only makes sense that the more you're willing to pay, the more likely you are to win the auction. So if you go with automatic bidding, then there's a good chance you'll be just fine. So automatic bidding is basically where you leave this box right here, cost control, when you leave it completely blank and you don't put in any figures whatsoever. So when you leave this box blank, what happens is Facebook is going to ensure that your bid will be high enough to win the auction you are in. So if you did want to specify a specific price that you want to pay, then you simply do that by clicking show more bid strategies right here. Then once you click that, this box is going to expand and it's going to look like this, where you have 2 different options. One's going to be called cost cap and the other is going to be called bid cap. So if I was to go ahead and put in £5 in the cost control box and then go for cost cap, you can see that the main aim of this objective is that Facebook will aim to get the most amount of clicks and for that average cost to be no more than £5 using the cost cap bid strategy, as of course it's saying £5 as I put in £5 above. So that is going to be cost cap. Now, if you opt to go for bid cap, the strategy which Facebook is going to use is going to be a little bit different. So again, using the same example of £5, but this time I'm going to change it from cost cap to bidder cap, you can see now that Facebook will aim to get the most link clicks without bidding more than £5 in any auction using the bid cap bid strategy. Now that might sound a little bit confusing at first, but essentially what that means is if you go for cost cap, so this one right here, then this is typically best for getting the most volume. And if you go for bid cap, then this is the best for controlling bids in the auction. So which one you opt to go for depends on the strategy which you like to achieve for your campaign. Are you interested in getting the most volume, or are you more interested in controlling your bids? So typically controlling your bids is best for businesses who understand exactly how much it costs to generate a sale. They know the sales conversion data, they have all the data in-house, and they know exactly how much is the maximum amount of money that they would like to spend to acquire a new client. So that is the first thing. The second thing, which has a big impact on if your ad is going to show or not, is what we call ad relevance. So Facebook's ad system is designed to maximize value for people and businesses as well. So as a result, higher quality ads perform better in the auction. Ad quality is simply a metric which Facebook use to determine how good an ad is, aka is it high quality or is it low quality. Ad quality is determined from many sources, including feedback from people viewing or hiding the ad and assessment of low quality attributes such as clickbait titles with your ad. So basically, if you set up an ad campaign and in your ad copy you are making wild and false promises to customers, then that's actually going to have a negative effect on your ad quality. I don't know why, but I see so many people do it. They create a Facebook ad account, they're promoting maybe a herbal product, and in the ad copy they're making all these wild false claims, how their product will help with this, help with that, and there's no scientific reasoning behind any of it or whatsoever. So what that results in is you having a low ad quality, and thus your ad's not even showing anymore on the platforms. Now, when it comes to ad relevance, of course, ads with a higher relevance will perform better in the auction if they are higher quality. And what's good to note as well is that ads with low quality ranking tend to typically cost more, which may reduce distribution of the ads and lead to fewer results. In fact, in certain instances, if you consistently post lower quality ads, Facebook systems will start to consider all ads from your page, domain, ad account, or any other associated entities as lower quality, aka meaning you will really struggle to generate any traffic when using Facebook's properties. So when it comes to ad relevance, there are 5 categories your ad can be classified in total. We have number 1, which is above average. So this is the highest category your ad can be placed in. If you see this, it means your ads are all going really well and you're doing everything great. Then below that, you're going to have average, which is obviously second. Then we have 3 more options below that, which are all below average, and they're broken out by percentages. So we have below average, bottom 35% of ads. We have below average, bottom 20%, and we have bottom 10% of ads. So ideally, when you are creating your ad campaigns, you want to make sure that your ad relevance is at least average, and that way you know you are doing better than the majority of people on Facebook. And for those wondering, when you do actually go ahead and create your campaign on Facebook, there is actually a column you're going to see. Hopefully you can see it. It is a little bit blurry as I have zoomed in a lot. But essentially, you're going to have a column in your ads manager, which is basically where you manage your ads. And it's going to let you know exactly what your ad relevance is. So you can see it says quality ranking, and this ad in particular is average. So the third and final contributing factor is going to be your estimated action rates. So Facebook determines your estimated action rates, which are exactly what they sound like, by a number of different factors. So your estimated action rate is essentially how many people Facebook estimates to take action based on the desired goal of your campaign. So if your campaign is to generate more sales, then Facebook can automatically predict how many people it think would actually buy your product. If it's more, then great, it will show your ad to more people. If it's less, then Facebook will start to show your ad less. So this is a metric and we don't actually see it. It all happens behind the scenes, but we definitely know it's a factor. Now, there isn't that much you can do when it comes to estimated action rates. If you have a targeted ad with a very clear call to action, and then once people click that button in your ad, they land on a page which is all about the ad, the whole buyer funnel is absolutely consistent, then you're not going to have any issues here whatsoever. Great, so now we have a pretty solid foundation of how it all works. It's time to move on to creating our actual Facebook ad account. See you in the next one.